guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Semester 2 Review, Unit number 6. Remember to show all your work, no calculator, and write your final answers on the line. Now, since some of this space is kind of tiny, I'm actually going to be using a separate sheet of paper to show my work. Okay? So, the first one we're on is number 1. And it says that we need to classify the polynomial according to its degree and number of terms. Okay? So what we need to do first is to come over here. Let's actually, okay, there we go. So we need to distribute that -2 to both sides. So we get -2m minus 6, and the rest of that all stays the same. Okay, so now we're looking for like terms, things that are the same that we can combine. Okay. Now, your 5m squared and your -5m squared, those actually cancel out. So -2 plus 6 is 4m minus 6. Okay? Now, we have to classify that, which means, is it linear? Is it a quadratic? Okay? Other things we talked about are what is the degree? Okay? So, degree of 1, is it 2, is it 3? Is it a monomial? Is it a binomial? Trinomial is another one that we talked about. Okay, I can't spell right now. Okay, but when it gets down to it, this is a binomial with a degree of 1. Okay? Alright, let's look at 3. So classify the polynomial according to its degree and number of terms. So now when we're looking at the degrees on this one, we're going to look at each section and count how many exponents it has. And remember, if there's nothing there, there is a 1. Okay, so we have 8, 10, and 2. And the highest one is the 10. Okay, so we have 3 terms, which makes it a trinomial with a degree of 10. Okay? Alright, number 5 says to simplify. Now, when we're doing this, we want to look right here to make sure what symbol it has, okay? And since it's a plus sign, all we're going to be doing over here is just rewriting it. Technically, we distribute a positive 1, but when we distribute a positive 1, nothing changes, okay? So we have the 6x plus 9x cubed minus 5x to the 4th, okay? So let's try to find things that are the same. 5x to the 4th, 5x to the 4th. I see my squares. There's my cubes. And there's the 7x, okay? Now, your 4's cancel out. So we have negative 9x cubed. Oh, I had another negative 9x cubed right here, okay? And those guys actually cancel out. So we're left with negative 8x squared plus 13x, okay? So all we had to do is write our final answer, negative 8x squared plus 13x. Now, number 7 is one that we actually are going to have a little bit of work on, okay? Where's my... Alright. 7. Now, in 7, we've got those negative signs right there, the subtractions, which means we need to distribute a negative 1 to everything. So when we rewrite this, we get the first one stays the same. 6x minus 2x squared minus 8x. Subtraction, so we change it to addition and we distribute a negative. So that's negative 7x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x, and then plus a negative 4x, so minus 4x plus 2. Okay, and now let's start sifting through and find everything that's the same. Okay, we only have one of the negative 7x cubed. Looking for my squares. We only got the 2. So negative 2 plus 3 gives me positive 1x squared. 6x, negative 8x, positive 5, and negative 4. 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Plus 5 is positive 3. Minus 4 gives us negative 1x. And then the only thing that's left over is the 2. Okay? So we get negative 7x cubed plus x squared minus x plus 2 is our answer. All right, number 9. Now, number 9 is asking for the perimeter. Okay, perimeter is all the area around. So perimeter, our opposite sides of a rectangle, are the same. And when we're doing perimeter, you just don't go, oh, here and here, and I'm done. We have to go all the way around. So each side, we technically have 2 of them. Okay? So we would need to multiply each one of those by 2. Alright, and when we do that, we get 4x squared plus 16x minus 2 plus, and then on the bottom we get 10x squared plus 18x plus 14. Okay, add all those up, we get 14x squared plus 34x plus 12 centimeters. Okay? Alright, let's move on to 11. Now we talked about 2 different methods, either FOIL or box. This first one we're going to do FOIL. Okay, when you multiply, we get negative 10x squared. 2x times negative 6 is negative 12xy. Multiply the insides. Oh, there's supposed to be a y right there. Multiply the insides right there, so we get negative 7 times negative 5 is positive 35xy. And the negative 7 times negative 6 gives us positive 42y squared. Okay? And then the next step that we would need to do would be to combine our like terms, which are in the middle, and we get negative 10x squared plus 23xy plus 42y squared. Okay, and now the next one that we talked about was the box method. Okay, Like, Mr. Grice, why are you doing the box method? I only see one thing. Well, that's because you're not paying very close attention. Remember that square means that there are two of them. You do not just distribute a square to both of those, okay? Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9x to the fourth. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15x squared y. Once again, positive 15x squared y. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25y squared. Look to combine your like terms because they're kitty corner from each other. And we get 9x to the fourth plus 30x squared y plus 25y squared. Alright, number 15. Which method do you think I'm going to use for 15? I'm going to use the box. Just because we have a lot of information, and I want to make sure to keep it all organized. Okay? And see, I didn't even draw enough boxes. Alright, so we have x squared minus 4x plus 2 and 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay? All we have to do is multiply straight across. So 3x to the fourth. 3 times 4 is negative 12x cubed. 3 times 2 is positive 6x squared. We get negative 5x cubed, positive 20x squared, and negative 10x. Positive 6x squared, negative 12x, positive 12. Okay. Let's try to find all of our like terms. There they are. And then once you start adding them all up, you should get 3x to the fourth minus 17x cubed plus 32x squared. Okay. Then you get minus 22x plus 12. Okay. Alrighty. Number 17 is asking us to find the area. Now, when we're finding the area of something, remember that area equals length times width. Okay, so you're going to multiply those two together. So area equals my 9x plus 7 times 2x squared plus 8x minus 1. Okay? Once again, I'm going to use the box method just to keep everything order. Okay, we get 18x cubed plus 72x squared minus 9x plus 14x squared plus 56x minus 7. Okay, so combining our like terms, once you do that, you guys should get 18x cubed. 72 plus 14 is 86 x squared. 56 minus 9 is positive 47x minus 7. And then the last thing we're talking about is centimeters squared. Okay? Do not forget to label. Oh, and I think I need to zoom out just a little bit for this one. Okay, so the next one is talking about find the volume of a rectangular prism. Okay, so key thing is we're talking about a rectangular prism. And we're not talking about volume. Volume is length times width times height. Okay, so remember, none of these sides matter which one is which. Right now I'm just doing it to whichever side is the smallest. Okay, so when I'm doing the volume over here, we've got 2x times 3x minus 1 times 4x plus 5. Distribute first. Okay, we get 6x squared minus 2x, and then we have 4x plus 5. Okay, and from here, all you have to do is FOIL. Okay, we get 24x cubed plus 30x squared minus 8x squared minus 10x. Okay, so combine your like terms, and we get our volume is equal to 24x cubed plus 22x squared minus 10x. Okay, and we're talking about centimeters cubed. So 24x cubed plus 22x squared minus 10x cm cubed. All right, 21. Okay, once again, we're talking about a cube. Okay, and with a cube, all sides are the same, even though my picture clearly says that they're not. So volume of a cube whose side measures 4x plus 5. Well, when we're talking about volume of a cube, it's very similar, length times width times height, but if they're all the same, you're just saying that the volume is 4x plus 5 cubed. Okay, so that is 4x plus 5 times 4x plus 5 times 4x plus 5. So this is just going to be the first thing that I worry about. We get 16x squared plus 20x plus 20x plus 25. We're going to go ahead and combine our like terms, and we get 16x squared plus 40x plus 25, and then we still have to multiply it by the 4x times, or 4x plus 5. Okay, and let's start multiplying. 16 times 4 is 64x cubed. 4 times 40 is 160x squared. 4x times 25 is 100x. Okay, 16 times 5. If you don't know it, it's okay to show your work. Carry the 3. It looks like it's 80x squared. 5 times 40 is 200x. 5 times 25 is 125. So go ahead and line up your like terms. And then let's go ahead and write our final answer. We get 64 Oh, I'm writing it on the wrong one. Oh my gosh. Mr. Grice, come on. It's kind of small, so I'm just going to write it up here. So we get 64x cubed plus 240x squared plus 300x plus 125, and once again, centimeters cubed. All right, 23. Now, when we're doing a problem like this, since you're only dividing by that one term right there, we're actually going to split this up and do all of these individually, okay? So the way we would write that out would be 24m cubed divided by negative 4, the negative 12m squared divided by negative 4, the 8m divided by negative 4, and negative 4 divided by negative 4, okay? And we're doing each one of those individually, all right? Now, 24 divided by negative 4 is negative 6m cubed. Negative divided by negative is a positive 3m squared. 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2m. And the last ones, guys, those do not cancel. You get a positive 1. Okay? So our answer, negative 6m cubed plus 3m squared minus 2m plus 1. All right, and 25. Now, 25, we're going to do synthetic division. Okay, the reason why we can do synthetic division is because our leading coefficient is 1. All right, so in the box, we take the opposite of 4, which is negative 4. And then all we worry about are the coefficients. We drop the 2. And now we need to multiply. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. We add that down, and we get 7. Okay? Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. We add those two up, and we get 24. Okay? And remember that this part right here is the remainder. So now we get 2x plus 7, but with the remainder, we take the remainder and we write it over what we're dividing by. Okay? So final answer, we get 2x plus 7 plus 24 over x plus 4. Okay? And now that's it for the review, because we talked about in class how you don't need to worry about this one. Okay? However, 28 right here, if you do 28, this is going to be extra credit. Okay? Well, guys, that's it for Algebra 2, Semester 2 Review, Unit number 6. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, thanks for watching.